everyone. I'm Melissa McAllister, and you're listening to The Melissa Made Show. Now, for decades, I've dedicated myself to helping women break the cycle of dieting, navigate through all the fads, and change their lives through my nutrition coaching. Now, each week, I'm going to talk about everything from deep nutrition, mindset, self-care, the ideal workout routine, tips on how and why to implement intermittent fasting in your life, my favorite recipes that are not only crowd pleasers, but they're actually healthy for you, and so much more. Now, with small and consistent changes, you can defy aging while living a happier, healthier, and more heart-filled life. I'm so excited to show you it's possible with the right strategies that are so simple to adopt. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Melissa Made Show. So I have a really cool guest today. I think you'll find him fascinating, and he's going to put a pep in your step. I had heard about him and the initial business that he started. And I don't know if Steven knows this, but I lived in Hawaii for a while, so I'm very familiar with the word loci. And if that word right there made you go, wait a minute, that sounds familiar, we're going to get into that. But I wanted to give him a much respected introduction, as he should, because he's going to be a man that's going to make you go, wow, he's very accomplished, but yet at the same time so laid back. So you're going to really enjoy this. But he is like, I think what made me like, okay, I really like this guy, is that he currently serves as the youngest member of the national board of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I think that's so cool. And he was named to the Forbes 30 Under 30, was the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Awards finalist in 2016, and graduated cum laude, impressive, from Cornell University in 2013. So when Steven was 19 years old, his beloved grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, which is these days, I hate to say quite the buzzword, but we're going to get into that. But a lot of people are talking about Alzheimer's right now, as they should. And it was an event that brought Steven to a personal low. It was during this time that he found his purpose and launched his first product, the Loci bracelet. Now, each Loci bracelet holds water from Mount Everest and mud from the Dead Sea, which is the highest and the lowest points on Earth. Now, these elements serve as a reminder to stay humble and hopeful through life's inevitable highs and lows, which is so true. Now, Loci has sold over 10 million bracelets globally. I'm curious if any of you guys have one, hundreds of millions in revenue, and has donated over $9 million to charity, which is huge to me. I love people that give back. And I would love to first start off by you kind of maybe sharing your experience with your grandfather going through Alzheimer's. Like right now, I don't know if you watched the episode where of Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, where he talks about with Dr. Peter Attia, how he has a high propensity for Alzheimer's. And so it being such a big show, and my audience has really kind of perked up to the whole, thought of Alzheimer's. Is there a way to help treat that, which I know we're working on right now? How does it affect the families? Is there anything you can do with your health to help avoid that? Because there is genetics to that, but there is also, lifestyle, which will play a big part in that. So can you share your experience with your grandfather being diagnosed with that?
Of course. And hi, Melissa. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're welcome.
So yeah, it was when I was 19. It was after my freshman year in college. My grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And for me in my life, that was the first time that I knew that death was on the horizon for someone I was close with. And growing up, my grandfather taught me to play golf and pool, and he drove me to school every day. So I was really close with him, and that news really brought me to a low in my life. And I was just thinking about the highs and lows that I was going through, and how everybody goes through highs and lows. It doesn't matter your age, demographic, income level, we all have them. And so that's what was the inspiration for Loci. And giving back was such an important piece that we decided to donate 10% of all of our profits to charity. And one of our major nonprofit partners is the Alzheimer's Association.
Mm.
And I'm so thankful for them and the work that they do to help find a cure.
Yeah, and your grandfather would be very proud. For those of you that, if so Loci is about almost 10 years old now, right?
Yeah,
Since
this June will be our 10th birthday. We officially launched June of 2013,
yeah,
which is right when I graduated college. But I worked on it for 3 years to get everything set up for the launch.
and they're gorgeous bracelets. I actually have one. Steven, my house is being completely renovated, and when I got it in the mail, number one, it's beautiful, and there is power to it. There's power to it, and my construction workers, I can't find my shoes, so I wanted to have it on. But it is beautiful bracelet, and they do have an Instagram account. You guys can see all of the beautiful bracelets they make. But I think it's a wonderful gift for people that are maybe at a time, that a low time in their life. We all go through that. Sometimes you wonder, what kind of gift should I give someone? I think that's a beautiful gift to remind people, like you say, to stay humble and to remember that there will always be, high times and low times as well. Can you talk a little bit about, being an entrepreneur yourself and the founder of several companies? What, how you, because this bracelet kind of symbolizes balance. And I think loci isn't that kind of the Hawaiian word for balance? Or do you know what loci? I'm sure you do
So
know what it means.
Lokahi in Hawaiian means unity and to blend opposites.
I love it.
We decided to change the spelling a little bit so that we had a word that we owned for our brand.
Smart.
And that was the where the word came from.
How
Yeah, the name and the product are all about balance. And I would just add, as a founder of many companies, I think the most important thing for a entrepreneur to have when they're starting something is purpose.
Mhm.
You have to have a true reason on why you are doing what you're doing beyond the dollars that you hope to make in the future, because I think the money is the end result that I think a lot of people strive to. That's all they want.
Yeah.
And that's actually like one of the least rewarding parts of being a founder, CEO.
Mhm.
And if that's all you want, there's too many highs and lows within the entrepreneurial journey to keep going if it's just for money.
So having, started and founded and having successful businesses, can you share, because my audience, of course, we're very big into the health and fitness space, but I also do have a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners that listen to this. In the early days of building a business, there might be more lows than highs. And can you give them any advice on, besides the purpose, because sometimes you just get so frustrated, and the wanting to quit is just right there. The things that can keep you going when it just gets really, really tough.
Yeah, it's remembering that purpose of why you're starting what you're doing. And funny enough, 10 years later, looking back,
Mhm.
the early days might have been some of the hardest days, but they were also some of the most rewarding. And now looking back, they're some of what I view as like the best days, like the good old days, you might say.
Sure.
Um, as you grow a company, it gets more complex, it gets more structured. The early days, it's so much about passion and grit and like willing to roll up your sleeves and do what it take. Stay with it would be
Yeah.
my advice.
Yeah. And again, I agree with you. I started my business almost 15 years ago, and the beginning was very tough. And I always did it for the purpose of wanting to help other people, and everything else kind of fell into place. But it was always with that one person that I saw in my brain in mind to help on that day. Now, you ran track at Cornell, and so you were an athlete. Was there anything that you took away from your athleticism through college that has helped you build your business as a founder and CEO of several companies?
It's a great question. I think track's an interesting sport because there's a lot of it that rides on you as an individual, right?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, when you're running, you're by yourself. And so being committed to sticking to a routine and your training program and making yourself the best version of that you can be to perform at your best, but also have a team mindset and helping others, because in things like a relay or a team championship, you need others to perform well also. And so I think the biggest thing from sports that I've learned and applied to being an entrepreneur is just the importance of your team and the people around you, and the people you surround yourself with,
Mhm.
no matter what you're doing, whether it's in your business or your fitness goals, right? You want to surround you want to surround yourself with people who have aspirations as great as yours, higher than yours. You don't want to be around people that are trying to drag you down or uh, aren't interested in what you're trying to do.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. In your experience with your businesses, have you ever had to separate yourself from any of those kind of experiences where you've worked with people that just, didn't see eye to eye with you, or didn't have the drive and the dedication that you had?
Yeah, I would say I'm a pretty honest person and pretty straight up with people. And so over the years, I've definitely gotten better at hiring
Mm.
and better at surrounding myself with close friends. But yeah, some slip through the cracks that maybe aren't right for the role or don't have the right purpose to be there. And I think it's hard to make the hard decision to let someone go.
Mhm.
But if you're able to quickly make that decision when right? Like I think you want to do your best to see if you can help that person improve and be successful. But if you're beyond that point, I've found make the hard decision, schedule the meeting right away, let them go and move on. Letting it linger, I think, can make things just worse.
Yeah. Gosh, that's very powerful because, for me, I don't know if you are, Stephen, but I'm quite the people pleaser. And sometimes you will, shuffle it under the rug, trying to continue to make it work, to spare the feelings of the person when you know something isn't working between the two of you, to be able to be bold enough and upfront enough and honest enough to be able to say, you know what, you're a great person, or hopefully they're a great person, but we're just not working together. And that's something that I'm learning to embrace myself, even 15 years later, because that is a huge attribute and a fault of mine, is to want to make everybody happy. But sometimes you have to cut ways with people in order to make it best for both of you. So now I think I heard, are you a father?
I am. I have
You,
uh the older one's almost 4, the younger one just turned 2.
oh,
Two
wow. Okay. Two boys?
two boys.
Oh, wow. Okay. And are they about 2 years apart?
Yeah, they're 18 months apart.
Oh, okay. That's perfect, because my kids are 18 months apart too. And so, and they're
How
now
old are they?
Yeah, they're 26 and 27. So I'm here to tell you right now, parent to parent, and I know you know this, you're going through the thick of it right now. It's when they're that age, that's a lot of work. But your boys, because I have a son and a daughter, and they are best friends. Your boys will forever be best friends. And well, you'll have so many fun memories with them. So congratulations on that.
So much.
So being a parent and being such a busy businessman, how do you plan it all? I mean, can you give the audience kind of any advice on how you schedule your days, schedule your quarters, schedule your years? How do you keep balance, going back to the bracelet, between family and being so successful?
It's a great question. What I've always done, and it kind of starts from this point, I've always thought about my last day on earth. And when
Mm.
I look back at my life, what am I going to be proud of? What am I going to regret? What am I going to wish I spent more time on or less time on? And I try to live every day of my life with that mindset. And so I really have 3 major buckets. It's family and friends, it's work, and it's my fitness and my health. And those are the three things that I prioritize. And I build my schedule. I use a calendar religiously,
Mhm.
and block off times for those activities. And when I'm doing those different things, and I stick to it. And if it doesn't fit within one of those buckets, it doesn't really make my schedule or my time.
Yeah, that's really smart. So, can I ask, what you do, for you, what do you prioritize for your, your physical fitness and your health? And it's funny because my husband and I were just talking this morning. My son is a business owner, and bless his heart, every time I see him, which is, every few weeks, he's either up or down 10 pounds. I mean, he fluctuates, because when he's really stressed, he'll stress eat. And when he's doing great, the weight will come off. And so every time I see him, there's just a little fluctuation in his weight. And my husband and I were talking this morning about how any successful person will tell you one of the things that you have to prioritize in your life, besides family and spirituality, is your health and exercise. That how much exercise helps you be creative and to have the energy and to sleep better, and better cognition and stuff. So I'm curious what you do, for your exercise. And that kind of leads me into kind of snooping on you a little bit. I see that your other company is, I believe, Elements, and I'm not sure, you can explain it to me if they're quote unquote energy drinks or if they're just drinks, that you have, and you also have pill form. I'm very curious about that. If you could start with what you do for exercise and then what this Elements is.
Yeah. So in my life of finding balance in these three buckets, I actually believe that the misconception around balance is that you do everything average. To
Mm,
me, if I can excel in my fitness, as an example, it will make me that much better of a dad and a husband, and that much better of a leader, because I'm sharper, I'm awake, I feel like healthy and strong. And so I really view my fitness as like the anchoring of me, and I'm my best self after I work out and am healthy. And I know that by doing that, it will make me a better leader. So I try to work out in the mornings. It's just the time that I know is most consistent. It's most to me. Nights there's work events or I'm with my wife, so I try to do early morning, and then I have my schedule blocked from 7 to 8 a.m. I'm with my kids, and then 5 to 7 p.m. I'm with my kids, giving them a bath, feeding them, putting them to bed, and then the rest is work. And so yeah, I think from a fitness and health standpoint, it's consistency, right? Whether some days you want to work out, some days you don't want to work out, just going and working out, even if it's a great session or not, you put in the work.
love that.
And so for me, it's about consistency and sleep. Um, like I know I need 8 hours. Sometimes I get 7, sometimes I get 7.5, but you just like when you try to stay up late and burn the candle at both ends, it's not sustainable.
Right.
And so I really prioritize sleep. And so yeah, I guess that would lead to Elements of Balance, which is the second company that I started. And what it was is a few years ago at Loci, we said, we're Loci, we're a brand about inspiring people to find balance in their life. What
Mhm.
other products could we make that actually help people live a more balanced life? And we recognized energy, focus, calm, and sleep are 4 real need states that can help people feel better about themselves and focus on what they need to accomplish to be their best self and find balance. And so we learned about adaptogens and how in high enough doses they have functional benefits that you can really feel.
Mm.
And one thing that I feel strongly about in all of my companies is not cutting corners and creating products that have true efficacy and high quality. And so we found a third-party clinical studies that were done that said these doses of adaptogens have been proven to create X effect within people. And we not only use the same dose, but the same suppliers that are used in the clinical studies in all of our products. So we have 4 ready-to-drink products and 4 capsule supplement products for energy, focus, calm, and sleep.
Have you tried countless diets, but you're still seeking your nutrition sweet spot? Are you trying to get results on your health journey to feel your best without being too restrictive? Now, I know how you feel. I've done the diet thing, but there never was that one that totally worked for me. And this is exactly why I developed the MAID diet. Now, I found that rather than restrictions, it's best to have a set of guidelines that allow you to customize based on your preferences and bio-individuality while staying on track with your health and fitness goals. I found the nutrition sweet spot. And as a health and nutrition expert, I get asked all the time what, when, and how I eat. And as someone who's passionate about education and helping others, I want to share that with you. Now, the MAID Diet ebook lays it all out for you, taking the guesswork out of dieting. The MAID Diet is a lifestyle plan that incorporates moderate protein, adequate fat, decreased carbs, and an introduction to intermittent fasting. The ebook gets right down to business by answering your most frequently asked questions. It includes thoughtfully designed recipes and a 7-day sample meal plan to start you off right. It will honestly kickstart your weight loss journey and have you losing inches in your very first week. Now, intermittent fasting combined with these nutritional guidelines is honestly the piece that so many people have been missing when trying to get results. This ebook has all the information you need in a format that is condensed and to the point so that you can get to your results. If you're ready to get started, the MAID Diet ebook is available immediately on my website for just $9.99. So head over to melissamaidonline.com/MAID Diet to take action towards feeling your best today. And once you do, oh my gosh, please let me know it's working for you. I am so honored to be a part of your health journey. Okay, back to the show. Oh, wow. That's impressive. Yeah. And I'm big into the adaptogens and think that they have very, very, very potent positive effects on the body as well. So I agree with you there. Where, you're such a young man and you've got this is my podcast, so I can say it. You got your shit together. It's very inspiring. Can I ask how old you are?
I just turned 32.
Yeah, you're just a baby. And that's really impressive. And I was listening to you. I think it was on the Real podcast that was back in August. That was a great podcast. And she asked you if you think that it's difficult, in the year 2022 to start a business. And you said no. And I thought you had a really good reason for why it's not. If you want to share with the audience, for anybody that's coming into 2023, thinking to themselves that, I really am tired of working for other people. I have a great idea, or, I do love, a company that I want to work with and branch off and build it myself. What you think somebody who is thinking about doing that, or is at the beginning stages of that, any advice that you can give them on networking or anything past, just taking a deep breath, knowing that it's going to have its highs and lows and there's going to be a lot of work in the beginning of. Any other tips that you can give?
Yeah, I think starting a company and building a company and making it successful are 2 different things. Starting with the latter, I don't think there's ever been a time in history where it's easier to start a company. I think with Google at your fingertips, social media at your fingertips, if you are humble enough to ask for help, ask people that are professionals in the space, hey, I'm starting this business, I don't know anything about X, can you help me or talk to me or give me advice? Or you just spend the time Googling and researching yourself, you can learn and figure out how to do most things these days, right? With what we have access to. And so I think physically starting a company has never been easier. I think what that has caused, though, is a lot of people who have an idea that they like, or they think they want to start a company on, start one, but then realize pretty quickly that, oh, I actually don't love this. I'm actually not passionate about it. Or, oh, like the market size for this industry is not big enough to build a large business in. So I think there's some thought that needs to go into starting a company first. Because like we were talking about earlier, if the goal is to start a company to make money, there's a lot easier ways to make money than being an entrepreneur. And so, yeah, you have to have the right purpose, and understand the market that you're entering and the size of the opportunity, and what it will take. And it will take much longer. It will take much longer than you think it will to build that company.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And I think you have to really step back sometimes, because you may enter the space of building a business and at first think that it's overwhelming, which absolutely it will be, but you learn as you go and things become less overwhelming. So that's one thing that you have to give time. And two, you may instantly think maybe this isn't right for me because I'm not showing instant success. And I don't think, I mean, maybe you can share this as well. Instant success didn't come for me. It took a long time. I mean, I think it took 6 months for me to actually see income at all come in the beginning. I was doing everything pretty much for free, but I believed in it and I had that purpose and that passion for it. And because I love doing it no matter what, eventually the income started coming through. And I don't know if that's how you were when you started as well, that you just weren't a hit right from the get-go. It did take a lot of time. And the fact that you had that mindset that, it's going to be really, really hard and I'm not going to see my efforts, show forth financially, at least for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I worked on Lokai for 3 years without selling any product.
Okay.
And then when I started, I started by carrying my display around New York City, just
Okay.
going store to store, knocking on doors saying, hey, is the manager or owner here? Can I talk to them? And I got turned down over and over and over again. But that one yes propelled me to keep going. And I just kept going. And I think a lot of people are afraid of hearing the word no.
Yes.
And so they don't do things because they don't want to hear the word no. But if you hear the word no enough, it becomes not a big deal anymore. And you just keep going. And so so I think that's an important skill to learn as well.
Yeah. And just for reference, you're talking about going door to door. I I literally made flyers and put them on people's windshields of their car. I'm sure that didn't work, but you are in the early stages willing to try anything to get your name out there. And I believe now, if I heard correctly, but aren't you in 5,000 different retail stores now?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, for the people listening, I mean, he heard a ton of no's and I mean, I don't know if you do anymore now because it's such a popular bracelet. But that perseverance, and because you had that purpose behind it, because you knew what it stood for, was great. And this is a personal question that I was telling my husband about you this morning. And I'm like, I don't assume that you went to the top of Mount Everest. How did the Dead Sea and the Mount Everest elements come to you? How did you, is it just people that go up there, or it's just kind of a neat.
How do we bring those elements down? Yeah. Great question. So the mud from the Dead Sea is a lot easier to get because they make a lot of beauty products and face masks and things. So I was able to find a wholesaler that would sell me mud from the Dead Sea. The water from Mount Everest, we actually employ a team of Sherpas that climb up to base camp to collect the water and bring it down.
That is so neat. So neat. I love that. And like I mentioned you guys in the beginning, you'll have to go to the Instagram account because they have made just so many different, and you just had a sale that everybody is probably missing, but I'm sure there will be a sale again, but just to see all the different patterns and the beauty that is within those bracelets is cool. So can you share with us, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years from today? Let's say, 2028, my goodness, besides having almost teenagers, which is scary enough as it is.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think something I have personally learned over the last few years is the importance of staying focused.
Mm,
I got distracted, had other ideas. I mean, that's what an entrepreneur is. And I think that's the hardest thing almost, to fight your own thoughts when it comes to creating more,
mhm.
because that's what like an entrepreneur does. And so for me, in 5 years, I see myself still focused on my family, my fitness, loci and elements, and continuing to grow them.
Love that. Do you still run?
Oh yeah.
Do you? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in your blood.
For me, like, if I really need to get out of my head, I'll run. But I run, cycle, uh, gym,
Yeah. Weightlifter?
yeah,
Okay.
kettlebells.
Kettlebells. Interesting. I love
Yeah.
that. Do you have one last question for you? Do you have a mentor or someone that you look up to in the it could be in the family space, it could be in the fitness space, it could be in business, or all of the above? Anybody or any few people that you look up to?
All of the above.
All the
Um,
above.
yeah, I think I try to, like I said earlier, I've always been someone who is not afraid to ask for help.
Mhm.
And whether it's family, like my mother and my father that I've learned so much from, or it's business mentors that I've met along the way. Um, I wouldn't say that like I have a formal relationship with person X where I talk to them once a week, but I just have really worked hard to surround myself with great people who um, have the same mindset and want to do the same types of things in life, and try to learn from everyone that I surround myself with, including my friends.
Yeah, for sure. So where can people learn more about you, about elements, and obviously the bracelet? Where's good places for them to find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Steven Izen, and then it's at Live Loci. January 1st, we're changing it to Loci though.
Okay.
It's a little secret. So there you go. Depends on when you hear this.
Yeah.
And then Elements of Balance. You can find our drinks on our site. It's also on Amazon. I've learned you gotta be where people are shopping, and people love to buy on Amazon, so that's where we are.
Yes, I am guilty of that, especially this time of year, Stephen. I can't tell you, every time I open up my front door, it looks like a mistake. I'm like, I don't remember ordering that much, but Amazon is.
Yeah.
It's funny. I tell people all the time that my business goal is to own Amazon. Not that I really would want to, but talk about the perfect company when it comes to being able to cater to everybody. I'd like to own Amazon one day.
That's amazing.
It has been such a pleasure getting to know you. I love the work that you've done. How much you've given to charity just blows my mind. And being a part of Make-A-Wish Foundation is extraordinary. I thank you for that as well. I think you've got a great product. You still do 10 years later. I think it helps a lot of people through a lot of hard times. I am personally, promise you, I'm going to go onto Amazon and I'm going to look at your elements, because that really intrigues me, because I really do think adaptogens are super powerful. And I think the calm one is one my husband could definitely drink several times a day. Do you personally, consume those? Do you find any one
Oh
of the
yeah,
four?
every
Yeah,
day. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay.
would never, I would never make a product that I don't personally use and love.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that, but I just mean, is there one that you're like, this is my jam? Because there's,
Depends on the day. It
yeah.
depends on the day and what I need. But I'll usually consume 2 to 3 different ones a day.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look forward to those. And I thank you so much for your time. And as we are recording this is right before the holidays. So happy holidays to you and your family. And I look forward, hopefully, to connecting with you again soon.
Thanks, Melissa. Same to you.
You're welcome. Wow, we've reached the end. But before I leave you, I'd love to hear from you. After all, it's not every day that someone reaches out and asks for your opinion. And to me, your opinion does matter. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Melissa McAllister. And until next time, thank you for being your own health advocate.